Hello, I'm Dale Leftwich with RealAgriculture. I'm here today with Frank Greneweg, who is an Edgeley area farmer. We're here to talk about the Balgonie Harvest for Hope. Frank, welcome here to the project. Can you tell me just a little bit about the history of the project? How many years has this been running?
Well, this is the second year of the project with Canada Food Grains Bank. And Viterra owns about 1,200 acres of land across Canada around their terminals. And at this particular location, we're looking at 42 acres. And so they have donated the use of the land to Canada Food Grains Bank, who partners with local farmers to grow a crop. The crop is then being sold preferably to Viterra.
Okay, I just want to stop you there for a second. Frank,
yes.
This is the second year, I think, for the project here,
yes.
Is it?
Okay. It is the second year.
Were you involved in the project here last year?
I was, yes.
Okay. How many acres do they have right here at this location?
About 42 acres.
About 42 acres, okay. And how did it go last year?
Last year it went quite well. The land had been a little bit mismanaged before, and so we had to kind of clean it up a little bit.
Okay.
But we found some partners to donate seed, like Bayer donated seed and chemicals.
Okay.
And CHS donated fertilizer,
okay.
and we did the work.
And so you had 42 acres here last year. You seeded this last year then? Is that what you're saying? You did the work?
We seeded the work. Yeah. They were looking for local partners, and somebody said, well, how about you ask Frank? Maybe I'll take that on. And you always ask a busy person, maybe. And
yeah.
So that's kind of how it went.
So how many locations did they have last year, Frank?
Last year, Viterra, so Canada Food Grains Bank has projects all across Western Canada, but particularly with Viterra, only 2 locations. One here and one in Alberta. I can't remember where in Alberta, but 2 locations as a bit of a pilot project. And slowly on, they are trying to get that 1,200 acres into crop production. Some of it is already and rented to local farmers, but they're trying to do that as a good outreach and a feel-good project for the better of humankind.
Right, of course. So there was 42 acres, and it was seeded into canola last year. How did you make out on that last year? Like, everything was donated. You donated your time, and as you said, the partners donated their effort. So how much was grain actually came off here?
So last year about $12,500 came out as grain.
Yes.
And then the federal government matches that 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 depending on what kind of project it goes to.
Okay.
So at the best of it would be about $50,000 that was donated to Canada Food Grains Bank.
Okay, so that grain then, $12,000, $12,500 roughly, was harvested off 42 acres, and then it was sold to the Viterra elevator, and then in turn, it wasn't actually grain that got shipped overseas. It was matched by the federal government in cash.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And so then you're saying you had $50,000 last year, and that then became used for projects. What kind of projects would have been used on?
So around the world there are different ways that they can go. It could be food relief after a hurricane or some earthquake, so where there's an immediate need and it's donated in grain, maybe lentils, whatever, something for food relief right away.
Yeah.
But it can also be used as far as development in countries where they're trying to help the local population to sustain itself by teaching them to use better seed or better agronomic practices, so it can actually build a local economy on farming that's sustainable and that hopefully wouldn't have to be helped into the future. So it's the same idea of give a man a fish and feed that person for a day and teach them to fish, and they'll be happy for eternity. For a lifetime. There we go.
Maybe for eternity too.
Well,
so let's jump ahead then to this year. So last year was reasonably successful.
Yeah.
There was only Viterra only had 2 projects on their 1,200 acres. How many projects do you think Viterra has this year?
Actually, this year I don't have that number, but it's more. They're just ramping it up.
Okay.
Well, some land, where the reason Viterra owns land is when they built a terminal like this one, they bought a piece of land, and sometime the land beside it was not that great, didn't really get farmed, or nobody wanted it. Some places it was pretty good land, and so right now they're just trying to assess, okay, what's going to happen. And that piece of land here had not been used all that well, So we just need to bring it up a little bit, and so this year here we seeded wheat, and well, I don't know, as far as I can tell, it looks like we got a crop coming so far. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So then you seeded this again this year?
That's right.
Yeah, so you put in the equipment. You effectively you custom farmed it for free. Is
that's right?
You donated the custom farming expenses.
That's
right. And then what were the partners that you're working with in this?
So this year actually we just took it on ourselves because for some reason it's a little bit harder to find things for wheat, and so we have land that's well, I wouldn't say close by, but it's 7 miles away. Okay. And so it's the same crop as this. So we just. All right, we just did it, and next year we'll see. And also, well, like our fertilizer partner got sold as well.
Oh, right.
So kind of in the middle of all this, so it ended up being we were kind of halfway through saying like, okay, we'll just subsidize this piece, and we're happy to be able to do that. For this is. You know, it's not about ourselves. Like it's easy to get caught up about the everyday going of a farm, and but in the end, 42 acres is something that's going to help actually feed the world. How many times do we get kind of punished because we've got GMOs and whatever? And this, you kind of truly feel that this is going to go feed somebody out there that needs it really bad, or is going to learn to farm. To a better degree. So
Viterra is still your partner in this.
That's right, exactly.
So you're the custom farmer, and then you've donated the parts of this, like the fertilizer. I guess this year is yours, and then Viterra is still going to be your partner, and they're going to work on partnering with other people in other places.
That's right. The other thing too is that Viterra. It puts about $5 a ton when the crop is sold to them as well. Okay. So it's also kind of a neat thing that they put into it. Not only they donate the land, and they kind of expect it to be sold to them. But let's say I was growing a crop that just they didn't, because it's still my decision as a partner, it's still my decision what crop I'm gonna put on there according to the best agronomics. Yeah. So it could be a crop that they do not handle, and it would go somewhere else. And then at that point, I mean, it's totally fine with them as well.
Okay. Well, this has been Frank Greneweg with Green Atlantic Farms at Edgeley. Thanks very much for explaining the project here. What's the name of the project again? Balgony? So
it's the Balgony Harvest for Hope growing project with Canada Food Grains Bank.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Frank.
You bet. Yeah. My pleasure.